people know about the women's suffrage and the women's equal rights and the Equal Rights Amendment, but a lot of people don't know about the people that were behind the scenes and the people that were really pushing for the equal rights and the people that wouldn't take no for an answer. One of these people were Alice Paul. She was very important for our history, and I think you guys should listen because she was really important in history, and it's important to know about what happened during this time period because our life could be very different if it weren't for people like Alice Paul. I did quite a bit of research on Alice Paul, and one of the main websites that I used was Alice Paul Institute. I'm going to tell you about her childhood, her life before the 19th Amendment, and then her life after the 19th Amendment. I'm going to talk about her childhood first. Her childhood started when she was born on January 11th, 1885. She was born to William and Tacy Paul. Her parents were Quakers. So this meant that they always believed in equal rights, and Quakers were really known for their equal rights. She had a brother and a sister. Her brother's name was Billy, and he was born in 1886, and her sister name was Helen, and she was born in 1889. She went to school in Hicksite. She went to Hicksite School, and she graduated first in her class. She then went to college at Swarthmore College in 1901. Her grandfather was actually an administrator there, and it was a Quaker school at first. The Who's Alice article in the County Magazine, Women's Magazine, stated that she went to 4 different schools over a 23-year period. Now I'm going to talk about her life before the 19th Amendment. She traveled to England, and she started the British suffrage there. And she was arrested many times, but then moved to America in 1910. She worked for the Federal Administrator in Congress, and she then went on and started getting amendments going. Then she planned a parade on March 3rd, 1993. This parade was to support women's suffrage, and they had thousands of men and women came and supported women's suffrage. They started wearing purple and white and gold, and these were the colors for women's suffrage. The parade got pretty violent because some people didn't believe in women's suffrage and had a real problem with it. So then it ended. She joined the NAWSA, which is National America Women's Suffrage Association, and then she quit in 1914 because they were more of a state level instead of a Congress level. She wanted to make an amendment, not just state rules. So in 1916, she started the NWP, which is National Women's Party, and they went to the White House and started picketing and protesting in front. And the president was okay with this, and he treated them well up until World War I. When World War I started, everyone thought that they were being really unpatriotic because they were protesting in front of the White House, and it looked really bad. So things would get really violent, and they ended up being thrown in jail. Well, in jail, they got beat really bad. These women, these old women, these young women got beat by these police officers. And when Alice Paul got out, people were outraged, and they started an outcry. And President President Wilson then became a supporter of women's suffrage because of this and the outcry, and knew that he had to do something. So then, in 1919, House and Senate both passed the 19th Amendment, which is women's suffrage. And on August 26th, 1920 is when it actually got passed and women were able to vote. After the 19th Amendment, many people thought that the battle was won and that they didn't need to fight anymore. But Alice Paul wasn't done. She knew that she wanted equal rights for men and women and throughout everything, not just voting. She said, quote, "Men and women shall have equal rights throughout the United States and every place subject to its jurisdiction." This meant that she wasn't going to give up until the Equal Rights Amendment was passed. The Equal Rights Amendment was introduced from every meeting up until 1972 because nobody would pass it, and then it eventually got passed. And then during this period of when it was introduced every time, she received 3 law degrees and traveled to South America and Europe and began WWP, which is World Women's Party. She moved back to America in 1941. Then she died on July 9th, 1977. This is her obituary, if you guys want to pass it around and read it. Alice Paul was a very important person in our history. I talked about her childhood, her life before the 19th Amendment, and her life after the 19th Amendment. She was really important, and it just goes to show that one person can make a difference in the world. She started 5 different organizations, and she's really an inspiration. I'm going to show you a PowerPoint of just some pictures of her and her. I'm going to show you quotes and pictures of Alice Paul. These were 2 pictures of her and her brother. They were pretty close in age, so they got quite a few pictures taken together instead of with all of them. The one on the right is a picture of her when she first started college, and the other one's just a picture. I'm not sure where she was. This is a picture of her sorority in the Swarthmore College. She's seated on the chair to the right. These are pictures of the parade and then the picketing in front of the White House. And then these are just some quotes by her.